deep diving into the latest wellness secrets on the podcast, then you're going to want to join my exclusive weekly newsletter. Get insider wellness tips you won't hear anywhere else. Be the first to know about my upcoming fasting workshops because let's be real, fasting is the secret weapon for surviving perimenopause. Access my weekly essentials, tools, and biohacks to help you thrive in midlife. I promise to make it worth your while, straight to the point, no fluff, just powerful tips to help you feel your best every single week. Don't miss out. Sign up now at thewelldrop.com. Let's take your wellness to the next level together. Hi, B.
Hi.
I'm excited to have you on the Well Drop Burger.
Excited to be here.
It's Brandon Burger, but I call him Burger. So, Brandon, I think a best way to start is, how would you say things are a little bit different in our household compared to maybe your friends?
Well, I would say that most kids aren't greeted by beetroot crystals and mango peptides the moment they wake up. Most kids don't swallow ghee or take Indian herbs upon arrival at the breakfast table. And most kids don't pay attention mostly to what their body needs or how to stay healthy. Most kids aren't gluten and dairy free. There's a lot of stuff we do that most people don't.
That's true. I guess we would say we're very unique.
Yes.
We're special.
Very special.
I mean, when somebody comes over to our house, would they immediately notice that things are different? Or does our house actually look like a typical household?
It looks like a typical house unless you know what to look for.
Unless you open up some cabinets?
Unless you open up some cabinets or look at our cutting board. There are a few things on the cutting board that are not in most houses.
Like all of our vitamins, or the fact we have a steel cutting board?
No, not the steel cutting board.
Like
the thousands of things on the wooden cutting board.
That's because I can't have it hidden. I need it out so I can remember what to take.
You've explained this before.
Yes. I'm the caretaker.
Okay.
And in midlife, your brain, I'm sure you know about perimenopause. The brain starts to go a little bit, so I need the reminders of things.
You've also explained that before.
Would you say that over the years that you've helped to educate your friends, when they come over for snacks or anything, or how you
Definitely. Mostly at school. I think especially in this age, more kids are now focused on their health. Some of my friends, one was like, oh, I'm starting to eat fruit for lunch because of my gut health.
Really?
I was like, okay, well, I guess good for you. Another one was like, oh, I'm trying to stay away from gluten and sugars to lose weight. And more kids are definitely focused on their health. It's just sometimes they're focused on the wrong things. For example, they'll think that just not eating sugars will be good for them, but they're still eating a corn dog, for example.
Okay.
Or maybe their stomach's hurting, but they are still eating ravioli or something with cheese. And it's the intention is there, but they just don't really know what to do.
That makes sense. So I would say, because most people don't realize, how old are you?
13.
13. And you've been living this way for quite some time, since
I was 6.
Basically kind of since you're born. Well, you probably don't know that part, but
yeah,
you've been eating organic food since you were in my belly, which is kind of a departure. And do you have any memory from when you were going to, nursery school or early childhood school, your snacks? Did they ever seem different than your friends' snacks?
Well, the first time I remember my food being different from everyone else's would be 2nd grade.
Okay.
I came to school with a liquid diet. That was a new one. And my 2nd grade friends just didn't quite understand I was having a milk-like substance for lunch.
And what was this liquid diet?
It was called Kate Farms, and it was to help with inflammation from my Crohn's that I was diagnosed with.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue. I think for those who may not know you, you are one of the biggest foodies that I've ever met. And would you say that you are probably the biggest foodie amongst your friends in your friend group?
Oh, yeah.
And have always been?
Especially in a mostly kosher school, I get to tell stories of the wonders of uni and lobster and pig.
So when going back, you're now almost 14, it was actually November and December of 2019. You had strep throat twice, back to back. You took antibiotics back to back. But then there was like this infamous night that I feel like your stomach was hurting, couldn't go to sleep. And we stayed up together on the couch
like
and you were
2
in
a.m.
pain. And I was like, this is more than strep throat. Like there's something else going on here. And that sort of led to like doing the testing and getting diagnosed with Crohn's disease in January of 2020. And you actually went on steroids for 6 weeks to lower the inflammation. And during that time, I went into like crazy research mode to just learn. It'd been almost 30 years since I was diagnosed with Crohn's. And when I was diagnosed, the medicine was actually steroids was sort of like the protocol. But now, fast forward 2020, the medicine was called biologics, which was Remicade, Humira were like the two main ones, which are monthly infusions through your arm, right? So I did all this research and came across actually enteral nutrition, but then a mom at our school in New York, her daughter was on enteral nutrition and used Cape Farms as kind of their medicine, which involves being on a liquid diet solely for the most part. And then in time, you sort of can lower it to like 5 days on the liquid diet, eat food for 2 days. You kind of can create your own schedule. But that was kind of how I even came across this concept of Cape Farms. And actually in Europe, that is the first line protocol that they use in order to try to help heal the gut. So once the steroid was done, I don't know if you remember this, we actually went to Miami during President's Week for vacation. Yes. And it was February 17th, 2020, is where we ordered the Cape Farms and we had a conversation with you. I don't even remember it, but clearly you agreed to giving it a try. We said, let's do usually 8 weeks was sort of the starter to try to heal the inflammation in the gut once we learned that you had Crohn's in your small intestine. And do you remember even like being asked if you want to do that and you agreeing?
The only thing I remember was being in the Aquilina.
Yeah.
And I think I was in the hotel room alone. And they always have the mini bar there.
Yeah.
And I remember by that time we were on the liquid diet.
Yes.
And I wanted a cookie so badly.
But
and
you
it was
didn't.
right there. But I didn't take it.
But
That's the only thing I remember about being in Miami with the liquid diet.
Yes.
That moment.
So we started it and we were in Miami probably for like a week or 10 days. And this is right before COVID. And I think that's a good kind of thing to dig into is that you have like this mindset. I mean, you were only 8.5 years old. Like it's kind of crazy probably if you think about yourself and going back in time, like that you even agreed to go on a liquid diet for 8 weeks. And then we did it during a vacation because that's just sort of how the timing started. And I remember you actually were, I don't know if you wanted to go upstairs and chill out and that you didn't sneak into the mini bar, which you totally could have. Like what made you not break the rule?
Well, I think when you know that something is making you feel better and you can feel it and see it, it gives you a lot more energy to keep doing it, even if it's tough. And also it's just about having mental toughness, which not everyone has, but when you know something is going to make you feel better, it gives you a lot more
ammunition
to keep going.
And also just to be clear, like I think when most people hear that you were on a liquid diet, they gasp like, what? Oh my God, thinking that you are being deprived, right? Because you're not eating real food. But I sort of want to clear that thought that Cape Farms and being on a liquid diet, which is the organic version of Boost or Ensure, for those who even know what those are. I feel like a lot of elderly people go on that. And Cape Farms is actually a feeding tube diet that they made for the consumer that you can kind of walk around and have a shake. But you felt nourished the whole time.
Well, even today, people still ask me, and like, you're not hungry with that? I'm like, I'm actually like super full. Like I get more hungry when I eat regular food than when I have like 2 Kates.
Right. If you love diving into the latest wellness secrets on the podcast, then you're going to want to join my exclusive weekly newsletter. Get insider wellness tips you won't hear anywhere else. Be the first to know about my upcoming fasting workshops because let's be real, fasting is the secret weapon for surviving perimenopause. Access my weekly essentials, tools, and biohacks to help you thrive in midlife. I promise to make it worth your while, straight to the point, no fluff, just powerful tips to help you feel your best every single week. Don't miss out. Sign up now at thewelldrop.com. Let's take your wellness to the next level together. And I guess like the good news to report is that it did help to normalize your labs, but we actually, because COVID sort of started within a month of doing Cape Farms, and then we moved to Miami or drove to Miami and ended up staying, it was sort of a crazy time. One, just in life, and you're on a liquid diet. And then you decided to actually extend it another 4 weeks until we were able to sort of get back to New York to see if it even helped. Like, was that hard for you, or were you just on board and saying, like, where was your mind at? Like, what were you thinking?
It's always hard, but you have to find little ways unique to you that help. I remember we would make the smoothies.
Right.
With the Kates as the milk. That was always helpful to make it just taste better. And yeah, it's always
popsicles.
hard.
I think we probably made some iced popsicles.
Do we?
Yeah, we probably forget that. But we definitely made some popsicles.
Oh, yeah, but finding little ways to just make it more sugary or just like make it a little bit easier. It always helps, but it's still hard and you just have to fight through it.
Yeah, I think that, so for those who don't know, part of trying to see and test and check to see where your levels are, it involves, of course, a colonoscopy, endoscopy. But because of the location of your Crohn's, we then needed to go to a pill camera test. Do you remember the first time? Can you explain what a pill camera test is and what that pill was like to swallow at such a young age?
So a pill camera test is basically you clear out all the food you've ate in the past 24 hours, and you swallow a pill that has a camera in it.
But how big is that pill?
And it goes down your whole intestine tract and takes photos of everything.
Yeah.
And it is a massive pill because it has to fit a camera inside it.
Like your Aunt Allie, she's turning 34. She can't even swallow a pill. How do you swallow a pill that big? That's like someone would call that a horse pill.
I think we started with putting pills in bananas.
Yeah.
And I had to eat the banana and like swallow the pill. And slowly it was like just the easier it got, the more you did it.
Yeah.
And like I started taking 2 at a time and 3 at a time and bigger pills, more at a time. And that leading up to it also helped with taking the pill. But I remember even taking it, it took me like 5 attempts at least.
Yeah.
Of just like, the nurse was like float it on the top of your tongue and like
Shoot
throw
it
it
down.
back. And there was like all these tips they're trying to give me. I don't know how I swallowed it. I think I just completed my 4th one on Monday, this Monday.
Yes, you did.
And now it's easy. Now I just can swallow it straight away. But I don't know how I swallowed it that first time. It is a pretty big pill.
And do you remember, I mean, there's another part that always, you make people in awe of you that you don't even realize, that when we first did the pill camera test, I think in January, was that our first one or was it in June, our first one?
I don't remember.
I know, it's all kind of fuzzy, but I feel like you went to school. You have to wear this like little, it's kind of like a satchel that connects to the camera
like an
that's
iPad
inside your body.
that lets you know.
But I feel like you went to
beeping.
school with that.
I think I did.
So that must have been your second one.
That
in
was
June.
also a little hard to explain to some of my friends why I showed up to school with a bunch of wires and an iPad hooked up to me.
Yeah.
But I do like the sympathy. I do like the attention. So it is kind of fun to just show up to school and like just have everyone look at you and be like, what's going on? Like, what is that? And yeah, I just find it funny.
You found the humor in it rather than it making you feel insecure and get down on yourself.
Yeah, I never really feel insecure when something like that happens.
Right. I feel like maybe your trick would be that you find the humor and kind of we just like laugh it off.
I always, whenever my friends are like, ew, and you have to like drink that, I always offer them to drink. And I always see in their eyes, they like really want to say no, but are a little interested and kind of want to taste it. And I have gotten some of my friends to drink my drink.
What they think?
It's kind of fun.
It's not gross.
One of them
I
was
like it.
One of them thought it was all right. It gave another one a massive stomach ache, and to this day, he will never try it again. But yeah, it's always just kind of fun to find the humor in it.
I like that. I think that's a good tip for most people, that like when you are, dealing with something that is challenging, one, to have the mental fortitude and the mindset to just keep charging ahead, and then also finding maybe the humor in it rather than letting it knock you down. Like, I feel like you just kept like sailing through it all. And these are like some big things. Like, I don't know, maybe if your sister had to do it, she even admits like maybe it wouldn't be as easy for her, but maybe she would surprise herself and kind of do exactly what you did, is just sort of like you rise to the occasion.
It always seems impossible to do until you're up until 2 a.m. with stomach aches.
Yeah.
Then it seems a little bit easier to do.
And there's like you would probably do anything to not feel that again, which in a great way for you, you're bless you. In a great way, you're lucky that you never necessarily felt that type of pain ever again.
Only in the beginning, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then, so basically we've utilized this Kate Farms concepts. It helps. We've given it to so many people with kids who have like any growth issues, who need to gain weight. Like, I don't know if you realize through that experience, like we've helped to introduce it to so many other kids, not even just for Crohn's, but just for like an added calories that you can get into your day, because it is all organic ingredients, vegetables, protein,
whole bunch of vitamins.
A whole bunch of vitamins is true. So I think our wellness journey is really it's been like 5.5 years now. It's really taken us. So we sort of did the Kate Farms, but then it was June of 2020. We did your lab work, but while your blood labs look good, the inflammation, we did the pill camera again, inside was not so good. And we were moving to Miami. And so we actually ended up doing the Remicade, deciding to do Remicade more because they scared me that there was a risk of, if the inflammation got worse, that you would then be stuck with like a bag outside your body. So I wasn't willing to risk it, even though I'm super holistic in nature. And I feel like even with then going and doing Remicade, which we had to go, if you remember in the early days, it was basically a cancer hospital. Or cancer patients.
Alex's place.
Which
that was a bit unnerving. Like me, I'm going, I have my iPad and I look around and it's like a bunch of bald kids my age, like doing chemotherapy.
Yeah.
And that was
Do you remember how that made you feel almost grateful? Like,
it definitely made me feel like, okay, it's okay. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
And then also we sort of learned like some tricks of the trade. I mean, no kid, I think, likes to give blood, even like at a regular doctor's appointment, no less getting monthly medicine infusions.
The numbing cream really helped. That was a big one.
That was huge.
And then also, once you do it for a while, it also becomes normal. Like now I don't even need numbing cream. I can just do like fine with needles.
But I feel like your mindset had to sort of shift, because you definitely were scared at first, but then we would always laugh after of like the buildup of fear, and then it would happen. It takes 1 second. You're like, oh, it's fine.
I would always feel a little bit embarrassed because I would get so worked up, and then they would do it, and it was just so nothing, and I felt like such a little pussy. Yeah.
But then we would just laugh about it, and then like try to remind you the next time of like how silly it was to like make you not make it a big deal. But I feel like in time, after only a few times, then it was really no big deal. We sort of had our system down. Like we did the numbing cream. And I think once we had that, like then all the fear kind of goes away. Because I think, what was your biggest fear? Is it the pain?
The idea of someone sticking a metal needle through your skin is just a little, it like creeps some people out.
Yeah.
And like just, they don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
But once you do it and you realize, oh, it's not anything. Like these needles are meant to go through your skin and hurt the least possible. And it's just kind of fine. It doesn't hurt, so there's nothing to really be afraid of.
No, I think that's really wise words that hopefully some parents will be sharing with their kids who...
The only thing I'm afraid of, and still am, is one time I was giving blood, and the tube that got my blood, like from the tube into the bottle, broke.
Well, no, they missed your vein, I think.
No, it broke, and I had blood all... It was with Dad, and I had blood all over my arm. Like, my arm was covered in blood.
Ugh.
That's still the only thing that scares me.
Yeah, that could freak you. But that's a total
That's
random.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to happen.
No, that's a 1 in a million.
Yeah, it's a 1 in a million. Lucky you. You're so special. So we had you on Remicade for 2.5 years. And I would say throughout that, it's funny, in a normal day, you know, you track Crohn's based upon like, how are you feeling? Which you always said I felt fine. And then like people's bowel movements. And with the Remicade, it sort of actually, it wasn't the perfect medicine for you. It was, in my opinion, like it was a good bridge for the moment to sort of course, it was like COVID times. It was a weird time in the world just to know that you were managing your inflammation, but your numbers were not amazing. And then once there was like a hint of them being in a decent place, I think I spoke to you saying like I wanted to try to have you off the medicine to see how your body would perform, because I believe that the body is intelligent and the body can heal itself. Do you remember having that conversation with me?
Yeah. And there is definitely a feeling of like, why are we switching away from the thing that's working and like has been working? But at the same time, I will take the opportunity to like, I don't like going to monthly infusions and I don't like having to give blood so often. So it's definitely, it's like the balance of the two.
Yeah.
And I think the latter outweighed the earlier. So
that's good to hear. And then what was interesting is your first 3 months off of Remicade, you actually were like even better. Like you seemed like more energized. Like you normally do go to the bathroom pretty normal, but it was a little bit more consistent, I would say, where Remicade, it was sort of inconsistent. Like right before you needed the meds, we would like see that things would get disturbed and then it would normalize after the meds. But it was interesting that after only 3 months and change, and then you went to sleepaway camp, you started to actually show signs, even though you felt good. Like the way Dad and I can tell that something was off is that your coloring wasn't there and you weren't gaining weight. And so then I did like some more testing. I was trying to not over test because that is obviously annoying. So I was able to get labs done at home to try to make it a little bit easier. Instead of going to a doctor, they would write the script, but then we would have a phlebotomist come home, and then we would do our infamous stool test. I feel like I'm like a little nurse at home. We're like pros at like doing a stool test, which is really so easy. Can we talk about that? Like how easy is it for a parent to do a stool test on a child?
It takes a little bit to understand the spacing and just how to catch it.
The logistics.
The logistics of it. But once you do it maybe a dozen times, as we have, it does get easier.
And it like is so eye-opening and so important because most doctors don't, even our gastro didn't suggest to do a microbiome stool test. Like I did that because I know about the microbiome, but I think most people just will only listen to their doctor. But I think the problem with that is that it's not a comprehensive approach. Like they literally only looked at your blood labs. And of course, we looked inside with the camera, but we still had no idea, if I never ran the stool test, to see what you had going on. Like, are there parasites? Is there H. pylori? What is the microbiome balance? Like a lot of people are taking probiotics and prebiotics, but almost sometimes too much of a good thing is not good either. You can have overgrowth and you can have undergrowth, and the gut is your powerhouse for immunity. So that was really the reason why we did so many of those. And I would then tweak your probiotics accordingly based upon what the results would show. And within that, it also would show an inflammatory marker to know, it's called your calprotectin, like where that was. So in the fall of 23, Your labs were a complete disaster, which we kind of hid from you because we didn't want you to fully know until we had to tell you.
Was that the summer? Was that my third summer at Greylock? Yeah, that was the summer where my stool wasn't good.
No, I think this was the summer after that because you were on Remicade that summer.
I was?
Mm-hmm. Mm. So it was interesting that even being on Remicade, there was one summer where you had like loose stool the whole summer, but you hid it from us, which was not great. But then the following summer, I think is when you did the Cape Farms all summer. That's when we switched our...
Yeah, because when did I first go to camp?
You first went to camp in 2019.
Yeah.
And then there was family camp.
2020.
And then 21.
So I had the loose stool in 22.
21.
No, 22.
Oh, maybe 22.
Yeah. 22.
Yes, in 22. Right.
Mm-hmm. So that was the leading into the horrible.
So I think because of that, that's probably what made me be like, I want you off the medicine. That was probably what was, like the medicine was not like doing everything it was supposed to. Mm-hmm. But then the fall of 23, your labs were kind of a disaster. And you were doing all the food things. You weren't gluten-free and dairy-free, I think, at this time. But we were obviously like organic and as healthy as possible. But then we learned about somebody in India through Dad's friend who really helped to like change their whole, bless you, their whole wellness. So then over Christmas, we were like, we have nothing to lose. Let's go check it out.
Yeah. And we went to Goa.
But we didn't even know what we were going to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kind of went blind. Like we spoke to the doctor once or twice just to say hi. Like I don't even know. Like I kind of remember we just were like, okay. It was sort of the way that I approached maybe when I went to macrobiotics with Mimi. Like we knew we were going somewhere that has helped people, but we had no idea what that even meant. But we sort of just like went in with like open eyes. Blind faith of like, we're going to just go like for an adventure and see what happens.
We sure did.
So tell us, what was Goa and our doctor? What's our doctor's name?
Well, our doctor's name was Dr. Upor. And every day he basically felt our pulses and looked at our tongues. And just from that, he knew everything about our health. I don't know how. And we had to drink ghee, which is a clarified butter, in the morning. We had to take all these intricate herbs and teas and spicy teas, and we had 2-hour daily massages with different, what's it called?
Different oils?
No, the name of the health thing.
The Panchakarma?
No, the name.
Ayurvedic?
Like different Ayurvedic massages with different techniques. And he like hand created all the oils that were used on us.
Yeah.
And after like a couple days, you could already see like the redness in my eye was going away. And I just felt better. And yeah, we just ate. And during the diet, we couldn't eat gluten, dairy, meat.
Red meat. Or chicken, actually.
Or chicken. Only fish. Or fish. Could we eat fish?
Yeah, dinner.
Oh, yeah. We could only eat fish. No meat, no nothing, no nuts. There's a whole bunch of rules that were slowly lifted away.
So there were a lot of like no's of what we couldn't eat, but let's give an example because it felt like it wasn't, again, like something that was restrictive. If anything, it was so much easier than macrobiotics. I never ate Indian food really until being there. Like I love beans and rice, but that
what you generally think of Indian food is not really what we ate.
Right, we ate like the healthy version of Indian food, I guess.
We ate like
what was
dal
breakfast?
And rice.
Let's start with breakfast. What did you eat? Do you remember? You would have the ghee and then you'd have to wait, an hour or hour and a half?
I think an hour.
An hour. Do you remember what you ate for breakfast? Porridge?
Oh, the porridge and slivered almonds and honey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a little banana.
and a little banana.
So do you remember what lunch was?
I remember lunch, we had the noodles and the veggies.
Rice
That
noodles
was
with
lunch.
veggies.
Oh, sorry. Lunch was generally at Chula.
Yeah.
So it was rice and dal, some sauteed veggies,
Yep.
and the little
Beetroot
cakes.
which was delicious.
Yeah, and they all came in these little like tins
Yep.
for like portions.
I feel like the meals were actually fun,
The meals were delicious.
right?
Yeah, I
They
remember
were
I
so-
made the little happy face.
Oh yeah, we did cook. You
With,
guys did a cooking classes. Oh yeah, you
yeah.
made happy faces with the containers with the little silver. I don't know what they call those dishes. Would you recommend? I mean, I don't know. Probably most kids haven't done a panchakarma. I mean, if we probably knew it was even called panchakarma, maybe we would have thought that that would have been a little scary because it sounds intimidating to me. But we never even knew of that word until we were there.
Well,
but that's what we were doing.
I would say our experience in India was very easy. It wasn't very intense. I mean, besides the ghee, the ghee and the spicy tea would be the only two intense things. But other than that, you're really getting a massage, a 2-hour massage, eating delicious food, and that's pretty
was
much it. Yeah, you're just eating good food and getting massages. So it's a pretty easy thing.
It was a pretty good deal.
It was a pretty good deal. Yeah.
It was a pretty good deal. I would say, would you like when you think back, and then we actually, you and I then went back in 6 months to have a checkup with the doctor because we went back doing the Ayurvedic herbal protocol, but you still, like your coloring was off and you still weren't gaining weight. So we went back for a checkup. And would you say you were looking forward to that? Were you annoyed?
I was looking forward to it. And then I remember, if I remember correctly, he said the ghee was having trouble reaching my gut. So we had to go through the anal route. And the enema was another thing that was pretty intense.
Because we didn't do that the first time, did we?
Yeah, that was, you guys did though.
Right. Me and
But
Dad did.
I do not recommend that for anyone.
Yeah, that was like the shock and awe of like almost our last day. Because I think what he realized.
I got two.
In Ayurvedics and in traditional Chinese medicine, and I've known this since I was a kid, they can read your face to see any imbalances. They could look at your tongue because your tongue, different areas relate to different organs, and they could see imbalances, and then they can also feel it through your pulse. So that's like what he was checking. And I guess my biggest takeaway from our first time was he just said, stop testing. And even though while I felt I was trying to test as little as possible, like I still kind of needed to know. I didn't want things to go like haywire. But he's like, just let it go and trust the process. So I did take the first 6 months of 2024 with channeling that because, I mean...
6 months, that was it?
Well, not a matter of that was it. Well, maybe it was more than that. I mean, a stool test to me is not even a test. I didn't do like blood labs for a while, which was a big deal.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because he was also talking about the energy of when you do a test that's messaging that something is off or something is wrong, right? If I'm not doing that for your sister the same way, why am I doing that for you? Because you are fine and you are healthy and you feel healthy, right? Mm-hmm. Or just these little things that were showing that maybe there's something more going on.
I always say, I never feel wrong. The only thing that's wrong with me is some number on a stupid paper.
True. And I think that's been like our biggest challenge. I mean, or also your biggest gift that you have this systemic inflammation, but you don't feel anything.
Yeah,
so
I am lucky in that sense.
That is lucky. But it is also confusing because you're like, why do I need to do this if I feel fine? Mm-hmm. Right. So that I think that's been like our own like personal challenge to like balance the two out. Okay. So I love that you would. I think that what we did that was fun is like me and you also went back just together last June and made it an adventure and then added at the end, like had something to look forward to. Like you really wanted to go to Dubai.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, fine. We're going to go do, this time it was a 7-day panchakarma, which was fine, but listen, it's a thing to like go travel to India. It's like not so easy to get to, but we just tried, and it was raining season too, so we didn't know what that was going to be like. So we were like, okay, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a little bit more chill, a little less pool, maybe more reading time. We kind of like had our heads like on it, but then we knew, okay, let's have something to look forward to get us through the 7 days, and that was Dubai.
And also in the first time, like visiting India after Goa,
Yeah.
that was also a big treat after.
Yeah, we made that
Panchakarma.
a family adventure. And I think it's sort of, maybe because we blended like the fun and adventure with that own wellness adventure too, it didn't feel like solely this like wellness detox trip, right? It just felt like it was part of India and part of the India travel experience, maybe. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if you remember, but like after the first time in India, I think because the doctor explained what gluten does. I know you heard it from Mom before, but sometimes it's the messenger.
We were gluten-free a little bit going into India.
Yeah.
For a while now, but also dairy was another thing that we didn't really realize until Dr. Upor told us.
Well, we knew, but I think there's a difference of like you hearing what I'm saying versus like wanting to listen to what I'm saying, like saying is, oh, it's not a big deal. And I think when he explained it to you of like what the gluten does to your intestinal lining and how it opens up the gates for things to kind of flow in and out. And when that happens, that creates an inflammatory response, right? You could just had leaky gut. And that what dairy does, that helps to like stimulate inflammation as well. There was something after that trip that you, on your own, were like, I am gluten and dairy free.
When you phrase it that gluten goes down your tracks and just pokes holes in the walls and just lets stuff leak in and out, it's a pretty picture that you're like, okay, maybe I'll stop eating gluten for a little bit. And when also I tell my friends that same analogy a bunch, and they always have the same reaction, like, oh, and they look down at their pasta, and they're like, I don't really want to eat that anymore.
Yeah.
So when you paint it with that paintbrush, it like kind of psychs out your brain to like stop eating it for a little bit.
Yeah. And I think also maybe you need to hear it not just from your parent too, in order to maybe believe it. Right. Like after a while, you're like, Mom, you're annoying.
No one wants to listen to Mom.
No one wants to listen to Mom, which is fine. But like, what are parents supposed to do? Find messengers?
Not my problem.
Find people that, well, what would the advice be? You're a kid.
I think hearing it from someone who you respect other than your parent is also very helpful. Because I really loved Dr. Upor, and I just thought he was so brilliant and could really see that he like just had an innate sense of healing. He was just like a healer.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. So hearing it from someone like that or someone who you really respect also made me think twice about my carbonara.
Yeah, I like that. The interesting part is that we did all this Ayurvedic work. And so we basically have been on Ayurvedic herbs. It was almost a year and a half, I would say. But it was actually prior to our second trip to India that I was consulting with another doctor because I was so confused of why does this kid present so healthy, but his labs are so horribly inflamed. Like there was a mismatch for me and I didn't understand it. Of keep trying to get to the root cause. And I always said to people that, my wellness advisors, there's a missing piece to the puzzle that there is this missing piece and I can't figure out the missing piece. And I was hoping Ayurvedics would be it, but your inflammatory numbers were still there. So it may have helped, from a microbiome standpoint, because even Upor said like your microbiome like drastically improved. It definitely helped to improve some lab markers, but like your core inflammatory markers were still present. And we were coming up against, like, it felt like time wasn't on our side anymore, that you were coming up against puberty. And I didn't want that to start affecting your growth. And we already saw a little bit of a dip in your growth. Like you're lucky that you're blessed with a dad who's 6'6", and you have always been off the charts from a height standpoint. But we started to consult with a pediatric endocrinologist just to make sure I was I want to like tick every box and make sure I'm not missing anything, which is the hard balance of like, do you check or do you not check? Like, I don't know what the right answer is, but that's just sort of how like my thought process was. And I would just always be seeking, I think through curiosity and research, like more and more advice and answers from people that are at the top of their game. And I came across this idea, or not an idea, but a terminology of chronic inflammatory response syndrome, CIRS. Never heard of that before. What is CIRS? I was like, well, maybe that's what Brandon has, because it is chronic inflammation, but like he's fine. And that was the first time, which is probably about a year ago, that he asked me on the call, oh, have you done BPC 157? What is, kind of heard that. I'm like, what is that? And that's a peptide. And you didn't know this at the time, but I spent like the last 6 months then researching what is BPC 157, what are peptides, because I only knew of peptides from GLPs, which is this whole weight loss phenomenon that's been going on. And that I only thought peptides were injectables. I didn't know peptides could be oral. And BPC 157, he taught me it was oral. And after all of my research, I don't know if you remember, even when we brought it up to you in the fall, I was like, hey, there's this peptide. It's oral. It's a pill. It's supposed to really help the gastro tract to heal. Are you open to trying it? Because we kind of, at the end of the day, it's all an experiment, right? Mm-hmm. And what, do you remember me even bringing up the term peptide to you?
I don't really ask what my pills are. I just take them.
You're just add it.
One day I just found another white pill in my pill case.
Yeah. And so what makes you feel you have a supplement regimen. What makes you be consistent and be okay even taking all these things?
Well, I would say it is easier for me to take pills now because I've been taking them for so long. And the way we set it up, it's very easy. I don't have to really think about anything. I just I eat breakfast and then, my pill case, Monday, breakfast, pop, take. I eat lunch. I open my lunchbox. Oh, there's my pill case. Just open it up, throw them in my mouth and wash them down. So I don't really need to think about much. Just the fact that they're always there and
at the ready. I'm not telling you get your pills. I put that all for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you think help. Making it easy and accessible makes it more of a low lift for you?
A lot easier.
Okay. That is a good idea. Back on the peptides, which I'll cover as a sidebar separately, but BPC 157, while it has amazing properties, and I did all this research, we started in November of 24 and did it for 4 months. But it didn't really improve your markers much. But in that time, I started to dive into the world of peptides and came across a peptide that's an immune modulator, which helps to reset your immune system, which is sort of what the medicine does. The medicine shuts off one of your immune system responses, and thymosin alpha-1 does something similar. But the thymosin was an injectable. Do you remember when I came to you and said, listen, Mom is sort of your doctor now. I discovered this peptide. It's supposed to be really effective. It's only 8 weeks, twice a week, which means 16 times.
I was definitely a lot nervous because the thought of stabbing yourself twice a week was a bit scary.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time we did the thymosin, I was freaked out. I locked myself in my room. I did not want any part of it. And I got so worked up over it.
Yeah.
And then we did it. And it was so nothing that I was laughing so hard because I didn't feel a thing.
Yeah.
And it was also so easy.
Yeah.
It was really nothing. You can just do it.
It takes 1
Done.
second.
Yeah.
But I agree. It's
scary.
Even as a parent, it's weird. I'm going to sit here and inject my child with something. But there were no doctors in the traditional gastro space that I could find that work with peptides to even have the conversation. Mm-hmm. And in the cellular medicine regenerative space, this is what they use. And so it actually works more on natural pathways, while a peptide may be technically synthetic like a medicine. It felt more aligned with my values.
And also, when we saw the results in my blood test, that was when I was really okay, we can keep doing this. Like when you see that something's working,
Yeah.
it was also made it a lot easier to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you're almost like happy to do it because it's making you feel better.
Right. So it's more you like to see sort of like the data to like confirm like what you're doing, like things are happening.
Everyone loves approval.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And just to report that we did the 8-week round and then we tested your stool again. And do you know how much your numbers dropped?
We got cut in half.
80%.
80%.
80% in 8 weeks. So that was sort of like for me what opened the gates of the possibility of inflammation and peptides. I was actually mad. I didn't know about it sooner. Like I felt very late and I can't even believe it. But that's what led me to the peptide conference, to learn who the doctors are in this space and learn from those who've been doing it for a long time. But that's a separate conversation. You know, it's been over 5 years that you have been dealing with this. What would you say is, we always like to say that you had Crohn's, because we're going to mind over matter it while we're still on the journey and hopefully reaching the end of it. What has been sort of like your biggest takeaways of like this whole experience? Because it clearly sets you apart from your friends. Like how have you navigated like social experiences? Like what is sort of like goes through your mind when you're going out like for play dates and stuff, or when you think about, oh, I had Crohn's?
Well, I think mental toughness is a skill that everyone can use in life. So that's helpful for me. And just mind over matter. And I really couldn't care less what John has to say about my drink. Like, really, I couldn't care. And that's pretty much it. And also, I'm lucky to be surrounded by friends who also don't care that I'm drinking a drink.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't matter. Or I'm injecting myself with peptides.
I mean, do they even know that you did peptides? Did you share that with them?
Maybe. I might have. I don't know. But like, just like, it's not that big a deal. And
don't make it a big deal.
Don't make it a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal if you don't make it one.
I like that. I mean, I think that you have so many wise words for both kids and parents on like the power of commitment. Like, what do you think has made you stay committed to, you know, your supplements? You know, there's a couple other things that we haven't talked about, like in terms of your weekly wellness routine at home. Like, you want to shed a little light into like some different things that we do at home?
I could share my daily routine.
Sure.
Should I do that? So I wake up and upon arising, I'm immediately greeted with beet juice crystals and mango strawberry peptide water slurry.
Yeah.
So after that, I drink that, shower, eat breakfast, take my Ayurvedic pills. And at school, because the school lunch is generally not gluten and dairy free, I have to take my Kate Farms with me. So I'll probably have a Kate Farm at like 10, 12, and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And at 12, that'll be like my lunch. So I'll have my lunch pills with that Kate's. And when I get home, if it's a Tuesday or Thursday, I'll do my thymosin. And after dinner, I'll take my pills and any Ayurvedic stuff I need to do, like a spicy tea. And right before I go to bed, I'll do CJC, the peptide. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. And if I'm feeling super hungry, we always have the protein powder for any of my smoothies.
Yeah.
What
are kind of your go-to snacks?
Go-to snacks. Beef stick.
Yeah.
Love a beef stick. And anything salty. So like pretzels, chips.
Yeah.
Anything salty.
And what about PEMF?
Oh, yeah. So at night when I'm watching TV, I'll lie down on the couch and we have a PEMF, which basically shoots healing frequencies just into your stomach. And we'll do 20 or 30 minutes of that every night. And it's pretty easy. You just lie there, watch TV.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Not too difficult.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
I think it's been such a great conversation. I love having you on the Well Drop. I always end our conversations by asking, what is one drop of wellness wisdom you like to leave our listeners with today?
I had a good answer for this. I forgot it. It's not a big deal if you don't make it one. And just always have mental toughness. Mental toughness.
I like it. Thank you.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.